In today's video, I'm going to talk about the process that I personally have used and many other successful people, from artists to entrepreneurs and everything in between, have used to build a successful life. And it is called the 5-year rule. So today I'm going to explain what the 5-year rule is and talk about how you can use it to build your dream life. But before we get to that, make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the little notification bell so you can get brand new videos the moment they come out. That notification bell is very important because it will help you go step by step with me on your personal development journey. This 5-year rule is the mechanism that I use to build the life that I'm currently living today. This is the mechanism that helped me go from 0 to millions of readers per year. This is what helped me go from somebody who was working for $10 an hour at a video store, a college dropout in debt with no money, living in a ratty apartment, to having almost full financial freedom, a business that I love, and continuing abundant opportunities everywhere I look. And I'm going to go back and tell you the story of where I learned the 5-year rule from. So I remember this day like it was yesterday. I remember the specific day when I learned about this rule. I was folding laundry on my bed. I had my laptop open and I was watching lots of different self-improvement videos like I used to do back then. And one of the self-improvement teachers that really stuck with me was a guy by the name of Jim Rohn. And he had this video talking about the fact that you could become successful, you could reinvent your personality, you could find a new career, you could get more money if you followed this 5-year rule. And the statement that he said in the video was 5 years from now, you will arrive. But the question is, where? And in that video, he talked about the difference between having an intentional movement progression towards your goals in that 5-year time frame versus more people who kind of just drift into whatever happens, and you see the gaps between those two people in that time frame. So I remember sitting back. This was in the beginning of my writing career. This was when I was just learning a lot, still trying to implement a lot of the self-improvement skills, kind of detailing my experiences to that point. I didn't really know a whole lot, and I was like, okay, 5 years doesn't seem like a ton of time to me. And I just kind of put it in my head. I just put it back in the recesses of my mind that, okay, I'm going to give it 5 years and I'm going to see what happens. So I kept that 5-year rule in the back of my mind, and I went through various checkpoints, some of the checkpoints that I constantly talk to you about. These checkpoints are the ones I mentioned to you because they're the things that happen to me. So what are some of these checkpoints that I personally went through? One of the things that I always tell people is to run a mini experiment and do it for 90 days. Do something for 90 days. Go through. I have a checklist below that teaches you how to figure out what your strengths are and a potential path to go through. So once you take that, you have a good idea of what you want to do. Try it for 90 days. Write your blog posts for 90 days. Start your YouTube channel for 90 days. Spend 90 days working on your business. 90 days on whatever long-term goal you want to accomplish. Maybe that's just general learning and self-improvement. Spend 90 days doing that. And usually after that amount of time, you kind of get a sense whether or not this is something that you think would kind of work for you, right? So for me, I wrote my first blog post and I just kept writing more or less almost every day. And about 90 days in, I didn't think that I was going to have some magical career, that I was even going to make any money. I wasn't even there mentally yet. I just thought to myself, I really want to keep doing this. This is fun. This is something that I like. And I kind of just rode that feeling and I kept going. And I was just in that general trajectory of 5 years to improve my life. Okay, got it. 3 months working on this skill. Okay, got it. I'm starting to make sense of things, right? And then you go on to other checkpoints in your life. You make 6 months worth of progress. Then you make it to about a year of progress. So about a year in, I was like, okay, I don't know all the pieces to the chessboard yet, but I'm going to pursue a career in writing. It made sense that that was something for me to do. And I kept that timeline in the back of my head. And while I was going through this transitional phase in my life, I kept seeing that number over and over again. There was this blogging mentor named John Morrow, who runs a site called Smart Blogger, one of the best websites for bloggers in the world. I took one of his programs to learn how to become a better writer. And one of the things that he mentioned in his blog post and in his programs is that if you want to build a blog that can create a real living for you, an above average living, it's going to take 4 to 6 years, is what he said. So essentially 5 years. And I was like, okay, I keep seeing this recurring pattern. So I stuck that in the back of my mind and told myself I was going to dedicate 5 years to practicing my writing skills. Okay? I'd read other writers, people who inspired me. Another one of my favorite bloggers, James Altucher, has a very popular blog post where he talks about the process of reinventing yourself. Guess how long he says it takes to reinvent yourself in his post? 5 years. So I kept this in the back of my mind and I kept plugging away. During years 2 and 3, I published a couple books. I was doing freelance jobs. I had a little bit of a coaching practice going. I was making some money, but it still wasn't enough to get me over that edge. And even in years 2 and 3, I was working really hard. I was getting some results, but I still didn't see that massive growth that I was looking for. But I kept pressing because each year you learn different pieces of the chessboard. You learn all these skills and micro skills. Sometimes when I'm sitting at a computer today and I look at all the different things I'm doing at once, copy and pasting, creating these unique URLs with UTM codes and doing HTML and setting up WordPress and creating landing pages and doing copywriting, marketing funnels, like all of these skills and stuff I've just accumulated over time. I've accumulated different income streams over time. I have about 6 or 7 of them now. And I've piled all these things on top of each other, which were slowly growing. They're getting a little bit better. My skills are getting a little bit better. And I just continued to build these assets and this knowledge that was hard to learn at first, but now comes to me at a very innate kind of subconscious level where I don't have to think about the things I'm doing. Then around year 4 is where I really saw things start to take off. During year 4, I saw a heavy increase in my traffic for my writing. During year 4 to 5, I worked on my most recent book, which is by far and away selling way more copies than the rest of my books combined. This is where I reached a critical mass in my income, and this was the time where I was beginning to make enough money to quit my job. And now I'm 5 years into the writing game. Millions of people have read my work. I've published 3 books. I run a business. I have just an insane platform compared to what I could ever have fathomed 5 years ago. So what I'm telling you is that if you find something similar, be able to follow those rules. Get to the checkpoints. Get to 90 days. Get to 6 months. Get to a year. Get beyond that. There's another good rule called the rule of 100 that you can kind of embed into this rule as well. And it says if you want to be able to do something well, do it at least 100 times. Shoot 100 videos, record 100 podcasts, write 100 blog posts. I'm over 100 videos so far, and I've gotten vastly better compared to my first one. And that's something that you should do too. Look at my original videos and look at the videos I'm putting out now. Look at some of your favorite channels. Look at the videos they were putting out 5 years ago and look at the videos they're putting out now. You just have to understand how compound interest and compound skills works, right? So I always use that compound interest analogy. A lot of people suck at investing because the number one factor in investing is simply waiting. It's not panicking when things go up and down. It's giving your time money to grow, or giving your money time to grow. You have to give your skills time to grow. You have to give your audience a time to grow. You have to give your platform a time to grow. You have to give your time for yourself to grow. You have to grow into a much stronger person to be able to fulfill some of those long-term dreams, and you're not going to be that person right away. Future you is going to be the one who's going to accomplish those goals, and it's going to be years down the road. So stop looking at yourself at your current state and thinking that you somehow need to be magically more confident and capable in order to get started. Trust me, I wish I could take you back in time and show you what my life used to look like, show you what my lack of discipline and laziness used to look like, show you what my bank account looked like, show you what my ratty apartment looked like, show you my depressed outlook on life and what it looked like. But then I decided to make a change in my life, and I committed to 5 years. So if you're able to do the same, find something where you can get a little bit of traction, work at it for a while, wait 5 years, and you're almost guaranteed to be successful. And you can start your 5-year journey by checking out my book, Real Help, An Honest Guide to Self-Improvement. This is going to give you the kickstart you need, the information that you need to get going. So buy that. Check it out in the description below. If you're on Instagram, it's on a link in the bio. And just make sure to check that out everywhere that it's available. Lastly, if you're on the YouTube channel, make sure to subscribe to the video, hit the little notification bell, hit that like button, smash that like button. Let me know how you enjoyed the video. There's other resources below, free goodies in the description. Make sure to check that stuff out. You're going to see some videos popping up in front of your very eyes right now. Make sure you check those things out, and I will see you in the next video.